If you're currently decorating your living room, or you've furnished one in the last year, this video is going to save you money, depending on whether you watch it. I've worked with homeowners across hundreds of living rooms, and the same 10 mistakes show up every single time. A curtain rod hung at the wrong height, a rug that's 2 sizes too small, a coffee table styled with absolutely nothing on it. One of these is being actively recommended by interior designers right now. It is the one I see regretted the fastest. Here are the 10 living room fixes that make a room look expensive, every single one under $100, starting with the one almost everyone gets wrong first. We're going from 10 down to 1. The further down we go, the worse it gets. You'll want to stay for number 1.
Number 10. Hanging your curtains too short and too low. I understand why. Most curtain rods come pre-sized to the window itself, so it feels like the safe, standard choice. It's also what you see in most starter homes, so it feels normal. But here's the thing about short curtains. When the rod sits right above the window frame and the panels stop a foot off the floor, it visually shrinks your ceiling and chops the room in half. It happens the day they're installed. There's no settling in period. It just reads as a rental from across the room. And once that rod is drilled into the wall at the wrong height, fixing it means new holes, new patching, sometimes a whole new rod. I worked on a small apartment living room where the rod sat 2 inches above a 7-foot window, with panels stopping a foot off the ground. The layout was great, the light was great, but every photo of that room looked flat and low. We moved the rod up to just under the ceiling line and switched to floor-length panels. Same furniture, same paint. The homeowner said it looked like a different room entirely.
Here's what to do instead. Mount the rod 4 to 6 inches above the window frame, as close to the ceiling as you can get away with. Buy panels long enough to just brush the floor, not puddling, not hovering. This costs nothing but a slightly longer curtain panel and 10 extra minutes with a drill. And it does more for how tall a room feels than almost anything else on this list. But the next one is sitting in almost every living room I walk into. And it's not about curtains at all. Number 9. Lighting your living room with only one overhead fixture. I understand why. Builders install one ceiling light because it's the cheapest, fastest option. And most people just keep using whatever was already there. Enough light is enough light. Feels like common sense. But a single overhead source flattens a room. It casts shadows straight down, washes out faces, and makes every surface look the same flat shade of nothing. It's not a slow decline. It's immediate. Every single evening, the moment you flip that switch. And no amount of furniture or paint color fixes a room lit like a hallway. I worked on a living room with great bones, good furniture, a nice rug, but the owner kept saying it felt cold at night. The only light source was the ceiling fixture. We added 2 table lamps and 1 floor lamp, all warm-toned at different heights around the room. Nothing else changed. She told me it was the first time the room felt like somewhere she wanted to sit in the evening instead of just walk through. Here's what to do instead. Add at least 2 lamps at different heights, 1 on a side table, 1 floor lamp in a corner, so light comes from multiple directions instead of straight down. A quality table lamp, something with a fabric shade and a warm 2700K bulb included, runs about $25 to $60 and changes how the entire room feels after sunset. I'll link some options in the description. Number 8 is the kind of mistake that looks completely intentional until you look closely. Number 8. Throw pillows in shiny, mismatched multi-pack covers. I understand why. Pillow sets are sold in matching multi-packs because it's convenient. One box, done. It feels coordinated, and it's an easy line item to check off a shopping list. But matching multi-packs are almost always the same thin, shiny polyester, sized identically. And that uniformity is exactly what reads as cheap. It shows up the moment they're out of the box. No settling in period required. A stack of same size, same fabric pillows looks staged, not collected. And most people can't say why a room feels off. They just sense that it does. I worked on a living room where every pillow was the same glossy 18-inch square from one multi-pack on an otherwise great mid-range sofa. We swapped in 3 sizes, a 20-inch, an 18-inch, and a lumbar across 2 textures, linen and a heavier cotton blend, in 2 tones instead of 1. Total spend? Under $90. The client said the sofa suddenly looked like it cost twice as much. Here's what to do instead. Mix at least 2 sizes and 2 textures, capped at 2 or 3 tones. Skip shiny polyester. Linen, cotton, and boucle all read as higher quality at the same price point. This costs the same as a matching multi-pack, sometimes less, and it's the fastest single swap on this entire list. We're getting into the ones that cost real money now. Number 7. A rug that's too small for your seating arrangement. I understand why. Smaller rugs cost less, and in a showroom or an online thumbnail, a rug looks fine sitting under just the coffee table. It's also the size most commonly stocked, so it feels like the standard choice. But once it's down in your actual room, with a sofa pushed up behind it, a too small rug creates a floating island in the middle of bare floor. It happens immediately. No time has to pass for it to look wrong. And replacing it later isn't cheap, because the correct size for a real living room is almost always a step up in price from the first one most people buy. I worked on a living room where the rug was 5 by 7, sitting alone under the coffee table with the sofa and 2 chairs all on bare floor around it. The furniture itself was solid. We replaced it with an 8 by 10 that came forward under the front legs of the sofa and both chairs. Nothing else moved. The room read as one finished space instead of furniture scattered around a doormat. Here's what to do instead. Size your rug so at least the front legs of every major piece sit on it. For most living rooms, that's an 8 by 10 or larger, not a 5 by 7. A quality area rug at that size, something with a low pile and a non-slip backing, runs about $80 to $100 if you watch for sales, and it anchors the entire room. I'll link some options in the description. Number 6 is the mistake nobody notices until they actually look for it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Number 6. Visible cords and cable clutter around your TV and outlets. I understand why. Wiring a TV or media console properly takes extra time and a bit of patience most people don't budget for on move-in day. It's easy to plug everything in and tell yourself you'll deal with the cords later. But cords left hanging are the one thing the eye keeps catching, even when everything else in the room is styled well. It doesn't worsen over time. It's just permanently distracting every time you sit down. And the more devices you add, the worse the tangle gets, until it feels like too much to even start untangling. I worked on a living room with a beautifully mounted TV and a nice console underneath, but 4 visible cords ran straight down the wall to the outlet. The owner had simply stopped noticing them. We ran a paintable cord channel up the wall and tucked a small power strip inside the console. 15 minutes of work. The wall finally looked like the TV had been installed by someone who'd planned for it. Here's what to do instead. Use an adhesive, paintable cord channel to route cables straight up the wall and keep the power strip out of sight inside furniture rather than against the baseboard. Materials run under $20 total, the cheapest fix on this entire list for the amount of polish it adds. Number 5 isn't about a product at all. Number 1 on this list isn't a product either. It's a decision most people make before they even start decorating. Stay with me. Number 5. Walls that are either completely bare or covered in mismatched frames, bought one at a time. I understand why. Art and frames feel optional next to furniture, so they get pushed to later. And when people do buy frames, they grab whatever's on sale that week, one at a time over months. But bare walls make even an expensive sofa look unfinished, and a wall with 4 different frame finishes reads as accidental, not collected. It's not gradual. A guest clocks it within seconds of walking in. And once 8 mismatched frames are up, fixing it means replacing all of them, not adding one more. I worked on a living room with genuinely great furniture, but 4 different frame finishes on one wall, bought over 2 years. We didn't touch the art. We bought one frame style, in black, in 2 sizes, and reframed everything. Under $100 total. The same artwork suddenly looked curated instead of leftover. Here's what to do instead. Pick one frame finish and stick to it across the room, even if the art inside varies. 2 sizes is plenty. This costs less than buying frames piecemeal over time because you're not duplicating purchases. You're matching what you already own. Number 4 is hiding in plain sight in almost every room, including the one you might be sitting in right now. Number 4. Light bulbs with the wrong color temperature. I understand why. Cool white and daylight bulbs are usually the cheapest option on the shelf, and the packaging makes them sound brighter and more practical. More light is better feels like common sense. But a 5000K daylight bulb in a living room lamp casts a clinical blue-white light that makes warm wood tones look gray and skin tones look tired. It's instant. There's no adjustment period. You just feel like you're sitting in a waiting room. And it's surprisingly hard to diagnose because most people never think to check the bulb when a room feels off. They blame the paint or the furniture instead. I worked on a living room where every lamp had a daylight bulb left over from a hardware store multi-pack. The owner had repainted twice trying to warm up the space. We swapped every bulb to 2700K warm white bulbs. Same lamps, same fixtures, and the room looked warmer in 5 minutes than 2 rounds of repainting had managed. Here's what to do instead. Use 2700K to 3000K warm white bulbs in every living room fixture, and skip anything labeled daylight or cool white. A pack of warm LED bulbs costs under $20 and solves more visual problems per dollar than almost anything else you can buy for this room. I'll link some options in the description. Number 3 is a spot in your living room you've probably never actually styled. You've just put something on it. Number 3, a coffee table with nothing styled on it, or random clutter instead. I understand why. A coffee table is functional first. It holds your remote, your drink, your laptop. Styling it feels like an extra step that has nothing to do with actually living in the room. But a completely bare table looks unfinished, and a table covered in remotes, chargers, and mail looks like storage, not furniture. It's not a slow drift. It's the first surface anyone glances at when they sit on the sofa. Every time. And the longer clutter sits there, the more it becomes invisible to you and obvious to everyone else. I worked on a living room with a genuinely beautiful sofa and rug, but the coffee table had a remote, 2 chargers, and a stack of mail on it permanently. We cleared it to a tray for the remotes, 1 stack of 2 books, and a small plant. The owner told me she finally stopped feeling embarrassed when people dropped by unannounced. Here's what to do instead. Use a small tray to corral remotes and chargers out of sight. Then add 1 stack of books and 1 small plant or candle. That's the entire formula. A tray and a plant together cost under $30, and it's the fastest before and after transformation in the whole room. Number 2 will surprise you. It works perfectly. It just works against you in a way most homeowners never see coming. Number 2. Buying furniture sized exactly to fit your floor plan. I understand why. A measuring tape and a furniture fit calculator feel like responsible shopping. Buying a sofa that fits perfectly between 2 walls seems like exactly what you're supposed to do, and most store layouts encourage it. But here's what nobody tells you. Furniture sized to exactly fill a space, instead of slightly exceeding what feels necessary, almost always reads as small and underwhelming once it's actually in the room. It works exactly as planned. It fits. That's the problem. A room furnished to the precise inch looks like a showroom display the moment it's set up, not a home. And there's no fixing it without buying different furniture. Measuring more carefully next time doesn't help if the instinct itself was wrong. I worked on a living room where the sofa, the rug, and the side tables were all chosen to fit perfectly in a 14-foot space, with a few careful inches of breathing room around every piece. It looked tidy, but strangely small, even though the room itself was generous. We replaced the sofa with one 12 inches longer and sized the rug up to match. The same room suddenly photographed and felt twice as expensive because the design read as confident instead of cautious. Here's what to do instead. When choosing major furniture, size up slightly rather than down. A sofa and rug that feel slightly generous for the room almost always look more intentional than one size to the exact inch. This doesn't require a bigger budget, just choosing the next size up within the one you already have. It's the cheapest mindset shift on this entire list, and it changes the read of the whole room. And that brings us to number 1, the one I mentioned at the start, the one being actively recommended right now, the one I see regretted the fastest. Number 1, matching every single element in your living room on purpose. I understand why. Coordinated collections are marketed exactly for this. A matching sofa, love seat, an ottoman set, a matching lamp pair, throw pillows from the same line as the curtains. It feels safe. It feels like you can't go wrong if everything's designed to go together. But a living room where every fabric, every wood tone, and every metal finish matches exactly looks like a furniture store floor model, not a home that's been lived in and collected over time. It happens the day it's delivered and set up. There's no settling in period where it suddenly clicks. And once an entire room is bought as one matched set, there's no easy single fix. You can't swap one piece without breaking the set. So most people just live with a room that looks rented instead of owned. I worked on a living room where the client had bought an entire matching 5-piece set. Sofa, love seat, 2 chairs, ottoman, all the same fabric, same wood legs, same finish. Expensive furniture. It still looked like a hotel lobby. We kept the sofa, swapped one chair for a different shape in a contrasting fabric, and changed the ottoman's leg finish. 3 pieces stayed, 2 changed. The room finally looked like decisions had been made, not a set unboxed. Here's what to do instead. Pick 1 or 2 anchor pieces and let everything else vary slightly in tone, texture, or finish. Same color family, different shapes and materials. This is the cheapest fix on the entire list because it usually means returning or swapping just one piece from a matched set rather than buying anything new at all. It's also the one mistake on this list that works exactly as advertised and still makes a room look less expensive, not more. If you've got some of these already, don't panic. Most are fixable, and most cost less than a single trip to the store. Some just mean making a smarter call on the next decision instead of trying to undo the last one. The living rooms that actually look expensive aren't built around a matching showroom set, or a trend that felt fresh for 18 months and dated itself by year 3. They're built one intentional decision at a time. A curtain hung at the right height, a lamp with the right bulb, a rug sized for the room you actually have. Which of these 10 do you already have in your living room right now? And which one are you fixing first? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If you want to keep making design decisions that hold up, instead of ones you'll regret in 3 years, subscribe. There's a lot more of this coming. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.